will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lumada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lumada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lumada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Storytime. You know the jig is back. You know it's Friday. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am glad you're here. Thank you for being here for Storytime. Welcome. I hope that you are well. I hope that you and your loved ones are doing well indeed. Thank you so much for joining me on Storytime today. We have a happy book. A very, very happy book from a very, very special duo. And this is coming to you from Angela Dalton and, of course, Jestenia Southerland. Yes, amazing creators. And they have a beautiful book for us. And it is coming to you from Harper, an imprint of HarperCollinsPublishers. Thank you so much for joining in today. I am glad you're here. Yes, I hope you came hungry because Ruby has a reunion day dinner for us. Thank you so much for joining in. I am excited for this one. Happy to bring it back. It's been over a year since we brought this book back here on Storytime. Glad we're back. Glad we're here. Ruby, welcome back to Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in. Please, as always, let me know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you indeed. Thank you so much for joining us. And yes, we're continuing to celebrate Black History Month here on Storytime. And yes, do the work. The work continues. The work is there to be done to make this place better, not just for a few people, but for everybody. And indeed, those that have suffered so much. Yes, the Black community out there. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime, and I hope that we're here today to enjoy a good story, but also to celebrate a big tradition in the African American culture. Yes, reunion day dinners. Thank you so much for joining in. Ruby, welcome back to Storytime. This one coming to you from Angela Dalton and Jestenia Southerland, and reading it with permission of Harper, an imprint of HarperCollinsPublishers. Please get comfortable. We're about to get started. It is a Friday. I hope it is good where you are. Oakland out here, it is going to be hot again today. Oh my goodness. I hope this can pass very soon and we can get the rain back again. Thank you so much for joining in. How is it where you are? Please do share, do let us know. And of course, how are you doing? Most importantly, how are you today? Thank you for being here. I am glad we're here together. Let us see who is with us this morning, ready to enjoy a wonderful story together. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning to you, Ali Amin. How are you doing today? And you're joining us from Dark, Washington. Good morning to you. And of course, good morning to you, Jessica, as well. Thank you so much for joining in. This lovely book awaits us. I'm glad you're here. Yes, thank you for waking up when it is still dark to be here for Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing? Thank you. Good to see you here out in Washington. Hopefully the light is coming out very soon. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning to you, Amanda West. How are you doing today? And of course, good morning to you, Sarah and Nathan out in Cloudy today, Cloudy, Illinois. Thank you so much for joining in. And Sarah, you're looking forward to this book today and taking a break from writing your own book. Oh my goodness, that is super exciting. And Sarah, when that book is ready, when that story is ready, please, you're always welcome on Storytime, or indeed you're always welcome to send to me so we can share it here on Storytime. All right. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely love it. Thank you. Yes, indeed. We're here to inspire each other, Sarah. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here on Storytime. Nathan, how are you doing today? Thank you for joining us. I hope you are well. I hope you are comfortable too. Thank you so much for joining in. Great to hear all these beautiful stories coming from you all. Sarah, thank you so much. I absolutely appreciate it. Amanda West, appreciate you. Thanking you, of course, for letting the little ones here join us on Story Time. Good morning to you, Chriselle. How are you doing today? Good to see you. Yes, happy belated birthday. I know it was recently, but thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Rocco Clay, good morning to you as well. You say sun is coming out for another hot day in the LBC. Yes, I heard that it is very hot down there. Please do keep safe. Of course, I hope that you are well and you find spaces that you can cool off, and hopefully maybe Ruby can share some of the lemonade today with you all down there. 86 degrees. Oh my goodness, that is way too hot. Here in Auckland, we're at 78, and it might go higher today, but keeping fingers crossed, not sure what will happen. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for sharing, and of course, always good to see you. Hot days, cold days, rainy days, always good to see you here on Storytime. Clay, Rocco, and Chriselle, welcome from Long Beach, California. Thank you so much for joining us. Absolutely appreciate you. Good morning to you, Betty Deshay. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Rikia, how are you doing today, sweetheart? Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And yes, you're saying from the sunshine in California. Thank you so much for joining in. I am glad you are here indeed. Thank you. And Rikia, a big thank you to you for helping lead yesterday's event in class. Absolutely appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning to you, Betty Deshay, and of course, Rikia. Marietta, how are you doing today? Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us all the way out in Massachusetts. Thank you for being here. And you're saying, another sunny, snowy, icy day in Massachusetts. That sounds beautiful, actually. Thank you so much for joining in. I am glad you're here. I don't know how it'll be being there, but of course, you're saying it is sunny, icy, and of course, snowy out there. So thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for giving me a glimpse into how your world is today. But together, let us dive into Ruby's world and enjoy this reunion day dinner together. And this one is coming to you from Angela Dalton and, of course, Jestenia Southerland. And, of course, we had them here on Storytime on the launch of Ruby's reunion day dinner. So if you feel like seeing them and of course listening into their thought process, their whole writing process and everything, their creative process, please do join that, find that interview and enjoy it. Actually, I will repost it to our different platforms so you can all hear it and get to enjoy that conversation. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. I am glad you're here. And yes, Ruby's reunion day dinner coming up in a little bit. Please do join me on the other side of this message. I will be right back.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda with Amanda Weltman Photography. I'm a photographer and printmaker based in the Pacific Northwest, and I believe that your face deserves wall space. Enjoy today's story time with my favorite storyteller, Mr. LaMotta.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you so much. Yes, please do find Amanda for your photography needs. Absolutely, yes. All right, here we go. Ruby's reunion day dinner. And this one is written by Angela Dalton. Yes, good morning to you, Angela. Thank you so much for this wonderful book. And of course, looking forward to our hangout. And good morning to you as well, Jestenia Southerland. Thank you so much. I am glad we're reading this book today. Thank you for these wonderful, wonderful illustrations. And I hope your move to LA went well. All right, here we go. And this one we're reading with permission of Harper, an imprint of HarperCollinsPublishers. Oh, I am feeling so hungry right now just reading this book. Ruby's reunion day dinner. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, written by Angela Dalton, illustrations by Jestenia Southerland, and read with permission of Harper, an imprint of HarperCollinsPublishers. And I wanted to particularly read through the dedications in this book. So, Sarah, don't forget, who are you dedicating your book to? This is an important part as well. Well, here, Angela Dalton dedicates this to her mama. Thank you for teaching me that the food you make and share should always be served with a side of love. Oh, I love that indeed. Oh, yes. The food you make and share should always be served with a side of love. Love that. And Jestenia Southerland says, to my family, whose support and delicious meals are invaluable. Oh, love it, love it. Yes. All right, let us get started with our story. Grocery bags rustle, pots and pans clatter, and the room quakes with laughter as my family gathers in my Grammy and Pop-Pop's kitchen to make reunion day dinner. Oh, I picture my own family, the laughter when we get together, the banter. I love it. I miss it. Yes, grocery bags rustle, pots and pans clatter, and the room quakes with laughter as my family gathers in Grammy and Pop-Pop's kitchen to make reunion day dinner. And not just any dinner. A soul food dinner. Oh, yes. I am even more hungry now. Yes, not just any dinner. A soul food dinner. Oh, yes. Every auntie, uncle, and cousin has a special something they cook and share once a year. What Daddy calls their signature dish. Everyone but me. Oh no, Ruby, we have to help you find something. Or do you need our help? Oh, what are their signature dishes? Do you have a signature dish? Well, I have a signature dish I like to eat. Does that count as a signature dish? Every auntie, uncle, and cousin has a special something they cook and share once a year. What daddy calls their signature drink, the signature dish. Oh my goodness. Everyone but me. Mama, I ask, what can I make this year? What do you have in mind, baby? I shrug. I don't know. You sure you're big enough to help a little bit? Asks Auntie Billy, teasing me. I am sure, I say, but I'm not. You will think of something. Mama pecks my forehead with a kiss and gets back to her staring. Oh, well, Ruby, think of something? I hope so. I watch my family bustle about and think, there has to be something that's just right for me. Peering over the counter, I see Mama's gooey peach cobbler bubbling up the side of her favorite baking dish, the golden crispy crown of Daddy's perfect mac and cheese, the streaky and mixed layers of Grammy's hush puppy batter. Oh my goodness, everything sounds so delicious. Can I mix the batter, Grammy? I ask. Why, this mixer is bigger than you, little bit. Next year, baby. Oh. Next year, Ruby, when you have grown a little bit. Wandering to the stove, I hear the crack and sizzle of chicken and catfish frying up in Pop-Pop's iron skillet, the sharp whistle of the red beans boiling under Mop's pressure cooker, the slow bubbling of collard greens simmering in Auntie Patty's large stock pot. Oh my goodness, so much delicious food. Can I stir the greens, Auntie Patty? I ask. Starve's too hot. You might hurt yourself. Next year, little bit. Oh. Next year a little bit. Next year, Ruby. Oh my. What can Ruby do to be helpful, to feel helpful? Sneaking sniffs around the table, I smell the sugary scent of marshmallows melting on top of Cousin Irene's sweet candied yams, the spicy perfume of cloves from Uncle Red's glazed maple ham, the reek of onions Uncle G's preparing to fry. They may be tasty, but they sure do stink. Can I help cut the onions, Uncle G? I look up to his face. I know, I sigh. Maybe next year. Aww. Ruby, I hope you find something to do. My mouth waters as I head outside, just thinking about the zing of Auntie Lena's pickled okra that crunch when you bite them. The tang of Cousin Titi's homemade hot sauce that stings my tongue just right. The perk of sweet juice from Auntie Billy's grilled corn. Oh my goodness. I love the sound of all of that. I am so hungry right now. I sit on the back steps, head bowed, shoulders slouched. Oh. Woo! Kitchen's hot, but the grill out here is hotter, says Auntie Billy, wiping the sweat trickling down her brow as she turns the meats and veggies. Oh, it can get pretty hot, can it? Oh. That's when I see it. The perfect job for me. What is it? What is it? Auntie Billy, I say, running up to her. Now, little bit, you know you're too young to mess with this grill. Not that, Auntie Billy, not that, I say, pointing behind her. That! Oh, what could it be? What could it be? Oh, what do you think Ruby's gonna do? What is that? Oh, what does Ruby see? Do you see what Ruby sees? Oh my goodness, I'm excited for this. Picking lemons so yellow they make my eyes squint. I press and roll them hard to loosen the juice before Uncle G helps me cut and squeeze them. Oh, then I measure the just right scoop of brown sugar to make a lemonade that in tart enough to pucker my lips into a heart shape. Oh, I love it. Then I measure the just right scoop of brown sugar to make a lemonade tart enough to pucker my lips into a heart shape. Oh, yes. That sounds amazing. I want that lemonade too. After letting it chill in the fridge, I place my jar on the table next to the rest of our reunion day dinner. Looks like you found your signature dish, Daddy says as he and my family drink with sweet relief from the heat. Oh, yay. Oh, you outdid yourself with this lemonade, Ruby, Auntie Billy says between slurps. You promise to make it again next year? I smile, hearing her say my real name. Yes, and it'll be even better. Oh, yay. The end. Oh, I absolutely love this book. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Glad we're here together. Glad we were able to read this wonderful, wonderful story together again. Thank you so much for joining in. This one has been Ruby's Reunion Day Dinner. Yes, with the whole beautiful struggle of trying to find her signature dish, and she did. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for helping in, for joining in that journey. Thank you so much. I absolutely Absolutely appreciate it. What is some food that you love to make at home? And for those of you that are in Oakland, please go to Lena's Soul Food. It is delicious. Yes, and just reading this book today tells me I should go to Lena's today. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope that Ruby today was able to put a smile on your face and, of course, help you cool down in this heat that we're expecting here in the West. But, of course, if you're in the East, I hope that you are having yourself some warm drinks to enjoy and indeed help you through the day. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I am happy we're here together. I am glad we're here together to read these stories together, to indeed inspire each other, as Sarah put it. Absolutely love it. And all the best, Sarah. Looking forward to that story. Thank you so much for joining in. I am glad we're here. And this month we are celebrating Black History Month. I am so glad we're able to do that. And yes, indeed, remember that Black history is every day, every single day, not just in February. But of course, we take this time to dive in deeper and, of course, to be reminded and remind ourselves of the power, the beauty, the excellence that lies within the Black community. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I am glad you're here. And to all the allies out there, too, thank you, thank you. Much love to you. This has been Storytime for this week. I hope that we've brought joy to you. Thank you for bringing joy to us, to bringing joy to our hearts. Thank you so much for being here. I absolutely appreciate the moments that we spend here together on Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in. Let us see one more time who was with us, able to enjoy that wonderful, wonderful story indeed. We know we're here with Marietta today, out in sunny, snowy, and icy day in Massachusetts. Thank you so much for joining us. And you're saying it's going to be 55 degrees tomorrow. That is warming up, isn't it? Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Glad you are here to join us, Marietta. And of course, Henry, sending you hugs as well when you are able to join us later on. Thank you for being here on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Auntie Pam, thank you for joining us. Good morning to you. And of course, Braylon and Chad, how are you doing today on Storytime? And say, oh my, this story, please do tell. What does this story do to you? Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate it. Yes, Ruby's reunion day dinner makes me hungry, makes me joyful indeed. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Pamela Courtney, you're saying yes this morning. This book, this amazing book, it is a wonderful book, and I appreciate it because if you've met Angela Dalton, you know. If you've met Jestenia Southerland, you know their personality shines right through in this book. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Absolutely appreciate you. Thank you so much. Good morning to you, Lydia. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining us. I am glad you're here. Early. How did that happen? Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely love it. Yes, the early bird catches the live Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in today. Absolutely love it. And you're saying happy Friday all around. Yes, indeed. Lydia Yamaguchi sending everybody the love, and indeed good vibes. Thank you so much for joining in. Absolutely love it. Thank you for being here. Good morning to you. Pamela Courtney, you're saying this story reminds me of Vincent Bingham's award-winning Soul Food Sunday. Absolutely. Oh, my goodness. Yes, I did not make that connection yet. I love it. Thank you for that reminder, too. Oh, now you want to make me go and dig that one up as well. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you and everybody else that was here. This has been Storytime this week. I hope that you and your loved ones go into this weekend with joyful hearts, and indeed that it continues to bubble and you just continue to have good laughter. And yes, indeed, we know that life can throw us all kinds of things, but I hope and I do know that you will power right through. Thank you so much for joining in. And yes, let us be the supports that our communities need. And of course, hopefully we have communities that support us and also are our biggest cheerleaders. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate it. Happy Black History Month. Next week, week we're back, Black History Month, but with a twist, with Valentine's in there too. So it is a wonderful week that awaits. Please do join in for some amazing stories. Love is in the air. Thank you so much for joining in. I am excited for that, and I hope that you will join me next week as well. Yes, God willing, we are back here in full force. Same story time, same beautiful books coming right through to you. If you miss us on the weekend and want to read some stories and you're not able to get to the library, or indeed just want to try out one that we have here, or indeed just the company, please do find Storytime on our YouTube as well as Facebook, and follow along on our Instagram as well. Thank you for joining in Storytime. Lots of beautiful work happening this weekend for Storytime. I'm excited for that, and also some big events that are coming up. We will be sharing those with you. Pure excitement, pure joy for those as well. This has been Storytime. Please have yourselves a wonderful day wherever you're joining us from. Ali Amin in Seattle, in Washington, thank you so much for joining us. Have yourself a lovely day. Sarah, author Sarah, and of course Nathan, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day out there in Illinois, and of course Amanda West, appreciate you. Rocco, Clay, and Chriselle, have a beautiful day in sunny and hot LBC today. Please find yourselves some beautiful lemonade and enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining in. Glad you are here. Maybe use a little bit of Ruby's recipe. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely love it. Rikia and Betty, this has been Storytime. Thank you for being here. Hugs to you. Much love. Always appreciate having you here on Storytime. And of course, Rikia, I will see you in just over an hour. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely love it. To everybody that joined in, please remember to check in on your people in your community, check in your family, check in your network, making sure everybody's okay. Indeed, that little hello may be something that they needed very much today. Thank you for being here. Absolutely appreciate each and every one of you, and that is coming from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for being here on Storytime. I will see you again on Monday. Monday, we're back for more Storytime. If you want more Storytime, though, there's still one more segment today at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Do join that one if you feel like it. Of course, we would love to see you always. Thank you. Much love. See you tomorrow. Or see you on Monday. Bye-bye.
Story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely.
I'm Meenal Patel, and I am an artist, designer, and the author and illustrator of Priya Dreams of Marigolds and Masala, and you are watching Storytime with Mr. Lamada.
Storytime with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing all of your stories. Some stories from far away, others right here in my neighborhood. Story time. Ooh. Story time. Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading. We just can't wait to be hearing